Hello. Our group had the Approachable Analytics for SAS Users project. The premise of our project was that as our world becomes increasingly data-rich, tools for understanding that data must move out of the lab and into boardrooms, conference rooms, and ultimately living rooms. Analytics software must become increasingly usable, understandable, and most of all, approachable. For our project, we took a look at the SAS Visual Analytics Explorer. We looked at an online free demo that was available at the SAS website. Here you can see that data is selectable on the left side, there's a visualization in the middle, and filters can be selected on the right side. We took this demo and presented it to several participants in an initial user experience evaluation, and we then took those results to our professor. And our professor, Dr. Watson, gave us feedback on our results. He suggested we institute consistency to improve approachability. Additionally, our participants in the initial survey were mostly computer science students. He encouraged us to use more non-computer science participants. He also stated that the interface was overwhelming, and that was echoed by our actual survey participants. It's essentially an expert view, whereas it needs to be a basic view. Our professor suggested we look at scaffolding and also adjusting color schemes. We took this feedback to our contact at SAS, and he agreed with our professor. Additionally, our SAS contact recommended that we have a primary focus on just the basics of the exploration process, including finding and selecting data, as well as building visualizations. He suggested our secondary priority be filtering data, looking for patterns or specific answers, and also adding an export as PDF option. He also encouraged us to consider PowerPoint for building a mock interface. And here we go to an initial view of our mock interface, which we built using PowerPoint. There is a header of tabs for all the functionalities at the top. There's also a window in the middle, and that's where the visualization will be. There's also a status message at the bottom that says Welcome to SAS VA, short for SAS Visual Analytics. And we also have a reset button on the bottom right hand side. From here, a user can select a chart type by clicking the chart type tab at the top. They can then come in here and actually select a chart type. The map type has a few options associated with it. Once they have done so, the user gets a status message that a geography chart has been selected in this case. You also see in the upper left an icon representing the geography chart. From here, the window recommends for the user to select a data set. The user can use the Data Select tab to do so, and here they can search for data sets or find some just through a alphabetized list. Once that's selected, the user gets back, the status message is updated that data sets have been selected. You'll also notice that there is a new icon in the upper right hand corner, and that is to show the table view. User can click that, and the status message says that the table view is enabled, and the table view is now there in the visualization. From here, a user can select set filters. They can go in and do so, selecting data sets, actual filters, adding and removing those. Once they do that, status message shows that filters have been applied. From here, the user can go to File Options and actually choose to save this visual exploration to a file. And once that's done, the status message is updated. The user can also use the Export tab to go in and select how they want to export the visualization. They can do so. Once again, the status message is updated, showing the export of the visualization. The user can also choose to reset and start over from the beginning. And if the user would like, they can adjust the theme. They can go in, actually browse for a specific theme, select that, apply it, and then the interface that they have is updated accordingly. We will now take a look at the final survey that we conducted on the mock interface. In this case, we included 20 total participants. That included 5 business professionals, 13 students with just decent computer knowledge, and then another 2 students that did not have much exposure to software tools. Of these participants, 10 were actually new participants, and 10 were the participants that took the initial survey. And we did ask questions to the users about their view on the new UI prototype when compared to the older one. Here we see that 80% of the participants like the new prototype. Here we see that participants expected less difficulty with the newer prototype. And then here we see that more participants expected to complete more tasks using this newer prototype of the new interface. And here we see that the participants seem to be happier with the new prototype of the interface. We asked the participants to tell us their experience of this new interface as compared to the older one. And we have some of their comments here, such as the new one looks better with the color background. Also, the new layout being good and more lively, whereas the previous one was stereotypical. We asked participants if they thought working with a new prototype would increase approachability, and most of them agreed that yes, it would. We also asked them did they think that there were possible improvements that could be made on the new prototype. They recommended we look at the exit button, and they also believe that we may want to revisit the actual implementation and reevaluate it again at that time. For future work, we recommend that we analyze the evaluation results on the new prototype as we've already begun to do. We also believe we should prioritize an actual implementation of this so that we can continue going forward with it. Some enhancements could include frequently applied filters that can appear on top of a list, also giving scaffolding options for the filtering operations. We can suggest chart types for the user to select based on whichever data sets they have selected. We can also add more dimensions for the visualization results and add query text parsing. And to conclude, we'd just like to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to SAS for the suggestions, all the time you gave us throughout this project, and to the professor for providing us with this learning experience and for expanding our scope of the understanding of the field of user experience. Thank you.